Hi, this is Jody. I'm here with David. David oversees our Costco bakery merchandising.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us, David. We got some great questions from our Facebook fans that David's going to answer for us. But first, let's talk a little bit about you, David.
Oh, exciting.
How long have you been with Costco?
So this is my 25th year. I started 1992, started with the Price Club in San Diego, in the Carlsbad Price Club, Costco now. My hire date was my daughter's first birthday, and now my daughter works for Costco, and so does my wife, so we're a Costco family. So
true Costco family.
Yeah, so my 25th year, so we get a
silver badge like me,
yep,
right?
Yep,
Great.
Yep, I'm waiting for that. So
and then
a few more months.
How long have you overseen the bakery?
Well, for merchandising, I've been responsible for merchandising going on 4 years now, and I've been in the bakery about 7 years. But I've been in fresh foods, which for Costco is meat, bakery, deli, produce, and food court for almost my whole career. So I've been in the fresh foods group for going on almost 25 years, and in the bakery department, close to going on 7-8 years now.
That's an awful long time,
Yep.
So lots of expertise in that area.
Yep, a lot of muffin cuttings.
Right, so like I said, we got some great questions from our Facebook fans. We're going to jump right in.
Okay.
So we had Mara and Julie, and they were interested about gluten-free options in our bakery.
Gluten-free is tough for us. So first, kind of all the items we carry 28 items in the bakery, and that's kind of our max. So each item has to have a certain amount of minimum expectations to kind of justify that position in our department. And gluten-free, it's a growing category, but it's still not kind of mainstream. So if you only have 28 items, and each item has to have a pretty significant sales expectation, those gluten-free items aren't connecting with enough people yet to meet our expectations. And it's tough in a bakery environment, an in-store bakery environment. We're making scratch breads, we're making cakes and muffins, and so the gluten's in the environment. So typically a facility that can offer gluten-free is a dedicated facility, and they're not having those other contaminants in the environment, in the air, on the surfaces. So it would be we wouldn't be able to execute that. So to have something truly gluten-free, it would need to be manufactured in a dedicated facility and then kind of come in prepackaged. So that might be an item more for our dry grocery department versus our in-store bakery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Ceci had some questions on allergies. Like, would we have a specific area just to make, Costco bakery items?
Yeah, so allergens are really tough. I mean, fortunately I don't have a lot of those sensitivities, but let's just say you had a tree nut allergy, and you're deathly ill when feeding a peanut. So that's a very difficult situation to have to manage. So in our in-store bakery environment, it's not just if you have a peanut in a case in a corner. There can be residue in the air. There can be residue on employees, on surfaces. So people that have those sensitivities, they have to be very careful of where they buy their food and how they where they dine out. And again, that would be more of a dedicated facility, so they have to very clearly read the labels. So because our environment's kind of open to all those possible contaminants, we make items with nuts, we make items with egg, with soy, all the major allergens. We're dealing with those in our in-store bakery. We sanitize all of our surfaces, obviously, between items, but someone that has a severe sensitivity, should buy something from a specific allergen-free manufacturing plant and make sure it's prepackaged. So we can't isolate something like that in our in-store bakery environment. So unfortunately, if you've got those types of sensitivities, it probably would be a safe idea to buy one of the items from the bakery.
Right. Now Carla was wondering, she's one of our Facebook fans, she was wondering about if we have different bakery items in each region.
So I mentioned we have 28 items. So I'd say about 25 of those items are national, and then that leaves a little flexibility, mainly for kind of an East Coast selection and a West Coast selection. So most of our items are consistent over the course of across the United States, and then just a few options. So again, with our business model is trying to drive as much volume on as few SKUs as possible to offer that value for our member. Part of that is having consistency, so we can drive as much volume into those few SKUs.
Okay, Brian was wondering about our seasonal cakes. So I know we have, our famous half-sheet cake.
Right.
So would we do any kind of seasonal cakes?
Well, we do. I think if you looked at our offerings for our decorations, we change that up throughout the year. So we've got fall and spring and summer different decorations, and then it's kind of fun. We solicit designs from our decorators at different times to, where people are very creative. A lot of our decorators are basically craftsmen when they're decorating those cakes. So if they've got unique ideas, they can submit those, and there's a group of people that decide which decorations we're going to have, and if a specific baker's decoration is selected, they kind of get a recognition of that came from that individual, and then that's kind of shared with the rest of the decorators in the company. It's kind of fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Now I know muffins are very popular at Costco. Are they our most popular?
It's our #1 item, and it has been for 20 plus years. So, and no matter what country Costco opens in, we always start with muffins. Even like we're opening in France in a couple of months, our first Costco in France, and they're going to have the Costco muffin. So it's a global item. It's our #1 item here in the U.S. and it continues to grow year over year. It's amazing when we look at the numbers on how many muffins we sell. So it's a big piece of our business.
That's great. So one of our fans, Victoria, said that she loves our organic selection in the warehouse. So she wanted to find out if we're going to have an organic selection for bakery.
Well, we're trying. It's not as easy as it would sound. In the U.S., the USDA certifies organic products. So for us to have the organic seal, we'd have to be USDA inspected and certified organic, and then that would create a lot of limitations on the types of items we can do. So it's very, very difficult to get that certification and maintain it in an in-store bakery environment. So what we've been doing is trying different angles. So as an example, we're testing one of our apple pie using organic Granny Smith apples. We're testing a pumpkin pie made with organic pumpkin. So we're trying to connect with the consumer that's looking for an organic offering and having it fall within what we can execute and be successful with. So, and I think it'll continue to grow. I think things are continuing to evolve, and we're continuing to look for different opportunities. So we see those trends. We see how successful Costco is in different categories for organic, and I think we'll have more opportunities as time passes. Okay, great.
Laura and Jen were wanted to know about natural ingredients in our products.
Yeah. So that's something we're very active with. So clean label or natural ingredients, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors or ingredients. So we, as an example, our bagel category, we just transitioned all of our bagels to what we would consider natural ingredients. When we're looking at our croissant programs, we're taking out we have a conditioner that's needed for the manufacturing process. We're looking at an alternate item for that. And then as we're developing new items, we're always looking at all the ingredients. We get very deep on all the ingredients that go into our Costco items. So when there's a natural or cleaner option, that's the option we'll pursue. So that is a goal. I mean, there's no standard of identity, kind of like how organic is certified organic. It's organic. There's nothing like that for natural. It's kind of open, and there's a lot of interpretation. So we're learning a lot about what our options are, and we're taking a lot of opportunities to make things as clean as possible.
Okay, great. What about, Raquel was asking, is a lot of our ingredients frozen or fresh?
Good question. So we make a lot, almost all that stuff in the bakery we're making from scratch on site. So all of our muffins, all of our cakes, we have a cookie that we just rolled out that's we're making from scratch. So we're bringing in all those fresh ingredients to make those items on site. All of our breads we're making from scratch. We're bringing in those ingredients and making them on site. Some of those ingredients may come in as a frozen ingredient, but that might be because it is all natural. It doesn't have any preservatives. It needs to be held in a frozen state, but we're using it to manufacture our items. So some items do come in with some processing, and we finish those on site. But every item in the bakery we're touching. We don't take anything out of a box and put it on the shelf. Every item that we sell, we're either making from scratch or having some sort of finishing step. So our hands touch every item.
Nice.
Yeah.
So nutritional labels. We've got tons of questions on that.
Yeah. Since we're manufacturing on site, we're not required to label things with nutritional labels. But we do take that opportunity on our croissants. We take that opportunity on our breads, and any item that has like a better for you or a healthy halo to it, or there's a call out that we want to highlight, we'll put a nutritional label on it. And all that information is available through our. So if there's ever a question about any of our items, that information is available from our call center, our 800 number that's on your receipt when you make your purchase. And then as time passes, I'm sure we'll be labeling more and more of those items. Those are all labeled by hand, packaged by hand in our bakeries. So with the millions and millions of items we're producing every day, it's a lot of labeling. But that trend is out there. So we'll continue to label more items.
Yeah. So a lot of our Facebook fans are wanting to know: are we going to get smaller quantities? What do you think about that?
I don't think about that. So Costco, everything's big. You see those packs of toilet paper out. Those are big,
very big.
Very big. So all of our bakery items are big. When you see an item, you can typically look at it and say, they must have gotten that at Costco.
Yes.
It's huge. So when we're developing new items, we Costcoize them and make them a large format item. The value's there, the quality's there. It allows us to be very efficient with our purchasing of our ingredients. So it kind of all folds into the Costco business model.
Okay.
So when you walk down any of the aisles in a Costco warehouse, you don't see any single anythings, and so the bakery department is just the same.
Right?
So we upsize, we make them Costco wow items, and the goal would be for you to look at something and say that must have come from Costco. Look how amazing it looks.
Yes, great. So we had a really funny question come in from Mark. He said, David, why is your office so drab? You should add some color, perhaps a painting and some plants. So David, are you planning to decorate anytime soon?
It is decorated. It's very clean. It's very organized. That's fantastic decorating. But I saw the picture that was used. So that was a more organized corner of my office. My amazing 3-year-old granddaughter gave me one of her first official paintings. So I have her painting that she gave her papa, me, on one of my walls, and then my daughter also had painted me a picture that's on another one of my walls. So there's a little color there, but it's very efficient.
Yes.
It's just how Costco likes it. Nice,
so we'll have to get that picture next time, right?
Yeah. I can show that off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
So we had Diego was wondering about donuts, and I know that we had donuts in years ago. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So for anyone who's familiar with Krispy Kreme, at one point we had a very similar piece of equipment that they used to produce their donuts in their stores. So if you've been in a Krispy Kreme, you've seen that very large piece of equipment. Yes. So we had that in one of our Costco's. It took up the entire front of the bakery. It was great theater. It made an amazing donut. Of course, it wasn't the standard Krispy Kreme sized donut. It was like twice that size. It was enormous, and it was delicious. But all good donuts, they're made fresh each day. And our challenge is we open at 10 a.m. So that's kind of past breakfast. And you miss a lot of that early morning breakfast experience, and then the next day it's just not the same.
Right.
So no matter how fantastic it was on day one, a good donut isn't built to last several days. So I think it's just because of mainly when we open and we're not there for the early breakfast hours. It's unfortunately something we can't be good at, and if we can't do it right, we're not going to do it. So we kind of have made the decision to kind of leave that piece of business to other groups that can execute better.
Okay. So what is your favorite bakery item?
I'm scared to say it's pumpkin pie.
I think that's mine too.
I say that because it's also the most challenging program we have that we manage. So we've had that pumpkin pie for $5.99 for 20 plus years, and I can tell you that the ingredients that go into that pumpkin pie, if you were to go to a store and buy those ingredients yourself to make that pumpkin pie that size, it would cost more than $5.99. So I can tell you it's an outstanding value, and we touch pumpkin pie all year round. And we have relationships with growers. We've got commitments we have to make a year in advance. So even though it's come Thanksgiving time, we're already negotiating the following year's program. So we touch it all year long. So the time Thanksgiving comes, it's been a year worth of work getting to those days. But I like it because it's part of everyone's holiday meal. We sell over 5 million pumpkin pies a year.
That's huge.
We make everyone from scratch. We're not taking that out of a box. We're making that pie shell from scratch. Our bakeries are producing those. The days leading up to Thanksgiving, most of our bakeries are in 24-hour production.
Wow.
So we've got thousands of bakery employees that plan for months out for those 3 days, those days leading up to Thanksgiving, and 24-hour production. I mean, the energy, the excitement that goes into that, the passion that goes into that from all of our bakery team members, it's exhilarating. So
yeah, that sounds exciting.
That window right before Thanksgiving charges the batteries enough to carry the whole year with all the other work that goes into doing it. So it's exciting. So
that's great.
Yeah, and I grew up having that pumpkin pie as part of our holiday meal, and being a part of it today kind of it's fun.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So chocolate covered strawberries. Tell me about that.
Well, we do chocolate hand dipped strawberries. We do a lot of them. So we try to get as many buildings as we can for Valentine's Day. That's obviously a big hand-dipped strawberry holiday. It's very early in the strawberry growing season, so there's a lot of weather-related issues and transportation-related issues. So it's difficult to get all of our buildings for Valentine's Day. It's hit and miss in some areas of the country. But come Mother's Day, that's prime strawberry season, so the quality's fantastic. There's plenty of supply, and we'll dip millions and millions of strawberries by hand. A lot of buildings make a big theater out of it, a big show. Some buildings are real successful putting a big show right inside the front door of the warehouse. They'll go right on that front fence. They'll get real estate in some locations and have hand dipping right there, right behind the glass, right in front of the member. It's $12.99 for the hand dipped strawberries. It's outstanding value. And when you look at the number of berries that we're getting fresh produce delivered multiple days a week, we're hand washing all those strawberries in our bakeries, and we're hand dipping them. I don't think anyone does it the volume of hand dipped strawberries that we do, and it's just the days leading up to Mother's Day. So last year we sold a little over $7 million worth of hand dipped strawberries, and that was in the days leading up to Valentine's Day in select buildings, and a very small program for Easter last year, and then just the days leading up to Mother's Day. So an enormous amount of volume in just a handful of days. It's just it's amazing what our team can execute when there's a plan. Everyone gets around the plan, focuses on the plan, and our execution is outstanding. Yeah,
so we talked about Mother's Day and Easter. That's our upcoming holidays. What would you recommend for our Facebook fans on some great products to purchase?
Easter's a fun holiday. Right now in our bakeries nationally, we're having it's a fresh fruit topped bar cake. So we're making this bar cake from scratch. It's a white cake. We're hand decorating it. It's enrobed in white chocolate micro curls and topped with fresh strawberries and fresh blueberries. It's a very exciting item. For Easter week, we're going to have an IRC, like a coupon for $2 off of our plain cheesecake. And it might not be an Easter item, but we just rolled out a new item that we're very excited about that's doing really well. It's a new cookie.
Oh, well.
Speak
of the devil. Here we go.
Happen to have a cookie. So it's kind of hard to tell, but we're making these cookies from scratch. We have two different types of chocolate. We're using pure vanilla. They're 6 ounces each. They're a large format cookie. We had a building that sold $6,000 worth of these last week by themselves, just one warehouse. So we just rolled this out. This is our 3rd week making them, but it's a 6 count. It's $6.99, and we're hand scooping them, mixing them from scratch. Again, it's not necessarily a Easter specific item, but we can't make them fast enough, and they're flying off the shelves. They're packed in this cool window top box. So we're hoping this item catches on. And if you have a chance to try one, put it in the microwave or in the oven for a few minutes and warm it up. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it sounds good. I can't wait to eat one of those after our Facebook Live. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us today. I learned a ton about bakery. Thanks for all the great questions that we had from our fans. Next week, we're actually going to be with our Costco Connection editor, Tim. For those of you who don't know, our Costco Connection is our Costco magazine, our company magazine. And then the following day, so we'll be with Tim on Wednesday, and then Thursday we're going to be with our Costco travel buyer for cruises. So it's going to be really exciting. Perfect. So come back then and join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.